This year, Pope Francis's arrival in Canada to apologize to the country's native Indians was heralded by most Catholics as great. The apology is for 150 years of horrifying sexual and physical abuse and deaths of children in Catholic schools, and is 15 decades too late. Like birds of prey, the priests swept across the land and from loving native families plucked their screaming sons and daughters away. They put them in hundreds of these satanic schools, cut their hair, and beaten if one word of their own language they did say. The church had absolutely no interest in them as humans. All they were doing was inhumanly scavenging the helpless for more Christian souls. It is impossible to imagine, when one looks at the Holocaust horror of it all, that this was one of God's goals. When one of these children died from loneliness, neglect, or hunger, the priests forced the still living to bury them in the barren ground. For years and years the family searched for their bones, but the priests had markers removed, so the bones could never be found. And for those years the families pleaded with every pope to help, and of their pleas every pope did tire. But not Pope Francis. He began to see the light when the outraged families began to set his damned schools on fire. So he went to Edmonton, hat and Bible in hand, apologizing truly, sincerely in English, Latin, Inuit, and possibly even Chinook. But one thing that was obviously missing, as many of the thousands of the survivors had say from his hand, was a checkbook. Long before the Catholic Church admitted their ungodly schools practices, the Canadian government divvied up $4 billion for their allowing these soulless, imprisonable crimes. A large share of these irreplaceable reparations went to every single proven survivor. What came from the church was barely nickels and dimes. I know a number of well-meaning religious zealots who are sprouting the belief that the Antichrist is now traveling the world trying to infiltrate every single home. Like the unknowable galaxies, I know not from whence the divine interventions in my own life came. But if there is an Antichrist, he might be so smart as to be hidden in plain sight, maybe just somewhere in Rome. Have an open heart and open mind, and you'll be that rare part of one of a kind. Good luck. This is John Barber.